right, let's bring in the perspective of Bongani Ndlovu, who is from the Greater Gauteng Learners Transport Organization. Bongani, please just confirm that you were able to hear the sentiments from the MEC there, but some of the highlights of what she said: you're profiting off children, you want to hide. We had actually saved your sector from bullying from the taxis, bring proper vehicles, and ending there with this shutdown won't help you, and we'd love to offer you a response to what she's just said.
Okay, good morning. Yeah, it's Bongani Ndlovu speaking, the PRO of GGLTO. Yes, it is true that we are having engagements with the government. We are sitting and discussing in terms of how to improve our industry as scholar transport. That is very true. On our sentiment regarding what the MEC has said about the being bullied party and her taking away our business, firstly, I would like to say to the MEC and the government, it is not right and it's not correct. It's not the correct step to take, because now it sounds as if like they want to take away our business. Us crying to the government, it was us crying out for them to help us, not at the end of the day to penalize us in this manner. Yes, we do understand, as I've heard what the MEC has just explained, most of what she has said, it's true regarding the meetings that we are having. But when it comes to the empowerment, firstly, I would like to put it forward that the first thing that we agreed with the government was that we need to do a campaign with her so that we show that we assist and also that our sector is not being neglected. So that was the first step, and also to make awareness to the scholar transporters that they need to comply with the rules and regulations on the street. That was the first step. That is why we were in support of the campaign. But the impounding, if it comes to the impounding, if it's based on the unroadworthiness of a vehicle, we are not supporting that people need to drive the skorokoros, as she was saying, red cars. So we are not in support of that. But also she must consider the fact that our industry has never had recapitalization as the taxes that they got. When we have never gotten that opportunity whereby we can bring in our cars to the government and the government assisting us to get better cars. We have never had such an opportunity, and we've been requesting about that. But in terms of the empowerment, it's not. Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me come in there, Bongani, and thanks for sharing those sentiments with us. So the question then is, the vehicles, the members that fall under the Greater Gauteng Learners Transport Organization, are all your vehicles roadworthy, and are all your drivers accredited with PDPs?
Firstly, maybe if the country will then know that in order to become a member, we do have things that we look into in order for one to become a member. One of those things is to make sure that people do have licenses. It is a requirement from associations in order for one to become a member. It is a requirement to have a PDP. It is also a requirement to have a roadworthy vehicle. So there's something that also that the country needs to understand. I can make the requestment in terms of having to join the association and maybe being admitted as a member of the association and applying with my own things or particulars in terms of becoming a member. But the change of the matter is that you only do that once and you are accredited to become a member after you have submitted. And on a later stage, you'll find people becoming owners. And once a person is now a member of the association, it's happening all over abroad in all associations. This is what's happening. You don't find owners driving the vehicles themselves, but in fact, you end up finding people that are being hired by the owners to drive the vehicles. So the only thing that we are making sure of is that we do have monitoring cars to monitor on our industry if compliance is being followed and all that. But in most of the cases, yes, ma'am, as I've just mentioned, that our members are complaining about even recapitalization because the government is doing nothing with our industry, yet a lot is being expected from us. We are not saying it's okay to have unroadworthy vehicles. And also on the impoundment that has just taken place, somewhere it's not that the vehicles that have been taken, it's only on the unroadworthy. It was even also on the permits. That's where our argument comes from, to say the government did not say anything about the permits. They said those that have applied for the permits, they will then be given a remorse to say they can continue operating because of those they are having orders. But yesterday we learned that even those with orders, receipts, have been also been impounded.
Right.
Their vehicles have also
But
been
I
impounded.
want to focus, Bongani, on your organization, and I wanted a direct answer. I mean, I hear what you're saying, that when you want to join the Greater Gauteng Learners Transport Organization, you need to meet two criteria. The vehicle's got to be roadworthy and you must be licensed. So my direct question is, are all the vehicles that are represented under your umbrella, your members, are they driving roadworthy vehicles? And I get on the license issue, as you say, there are some complexities around that, but you have to have a PDP if you are going to transport children. So do you have the PDPs and are your vehicles roadworthy?
Yes, as I've said, it is a requirement from our organization.
I know it's a requirement, Bongani. That's why I'm coming in. I'm saying I understand, and I even reiterated the point that you made, that in order to become a member, it's got to be. But over time, you talked about monitoring. Can you confirm that every vehicle that belongs to your association and your members is roadworthy and your members have public driver's permits?
No, not every vehicle is roadworthy. And one of the reasons that is making that is that you also need to understand, as I've just said, that a member only joins once. Others, we go even on those old vehicles to find them somewhere being parked, being sold. So if you find someone selling a vehicle that you can use for transporting kids, then you buy that vehicle, and at the end of the day, you continue without being monitored in terms of is that car roadworthy and all that. But now the MEC has said we must bring forward those vehicles so that they can be tested in order for people to understand better the industry. But no, we need to make sure that we fix our vehicles or we change our vehicles. So that was one of the arrangements that we have made with the MEC to say cars will be brought in for testing. But some of the members, as they were on their way to take the vehicles to the testing stations, as they were requested by the structures, they find themselves in trouble. And that makes us to become sellouts now.
What do you mean, sellouts?
Sellouts, yes. I mean sellouts by saying that, I mean that it is wrong for us to be given information by the government to say we need to inform our people that vehicles need to go through these stages. And whilst people are listening to us, the opposite of that is happening. So we even have messages that have been sent by members as they are furious now to say, no, we are having wrong agreements and wrong arrangements with the government because of what is happening now and what they were told. It's totally the opposite of what they were told.
Bongani, you do appreciate, though, that despite the difficulties, as you say, it is your responsibility, if you are an accredited organization, to ensure that all members of your organization adhere to the rules, that those vehicles are roadworthy. Children should not be transported in vehicles where they're going to be overcrowded, where each one is not wearing a seatbelt, and where, like we saw yesterday, the condition was appalling. You even saw ottomans, these little mini chairs, just placed into these scholar transport vehicles for children to sit on, or even makeshift seats in the boot of vehicles. That is completely unacceptable. Wouldn't you agree?
I do agree, because at the end of the day, we are transporting kids, we are transporting lives, we are transporting our future generation. It is very wrong for us to have overload. Firstly, I will start by that. It is very wrong to have that. But in all honesty, even yourselves, you cannot really determine what is an overload when it comes to scholar transport. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because there's a document that we have, of which it's an act of it's act number 6 of 1995 under National Land Transport Act. That act is specifically talking about the ratio on how we need to load our kids. So it's so unfortunate because of that thing is never spoken about. And at the end of the day, we end up having to be judged as if like we are making overloads. But we are not saying that we are encouraging people or members to have overloads. But if maybe a vehicle can that be followed, it will be okay. And number 2, in terms of the mode of transport, we believe and we have said even to the MEC, we believe that now it's time that we need to be given a mode of transport in terms of transporting these kids. Then that will make things easier.
I'm going to leave it there. The overload is clear. I mean, if a vehicle is certified to carry X number of people, that's the number of people it must carry and nothing more, which is why we saw those arrests and the impoundment of the vehicles. This, again, sounds like a conversation that we must continue, and we will. Bongani Ndlovu, thank you for your time. He's from the Greater Gauteng Learners Transport Organization.